Good morning, my people, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you was watching this. Um, Today, I would just like to talk about healing and how important it is to heal and to forgive. A big part of self development and getting to that next level in life and spirit, emotionally, mentally, is healing and forgiving. Now, understand, a lot of the times, forgiving is going to be for you rather than whoever it is or the thing that happened to you or whatever the trauma is. A lot of times you are going to be forgiving for you so that you can move past this trauma or this event mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You know, one thing that I love about God and that I enjoy when it comes to reading the Bible is the fact that, the Lord does things for people even when it seems like they don't deserve it. You know, like throughout the Bible, God is antagonized and he's looked down upon and he's threatened, and he still continues to heal people. He challenges people's evil ways and their evil ways of thinking with love and logic, and he never stoops to the level, and he never fights fire with fire. You know, he is a healing God, he is a forgiving God, and he is a loving God. And I think it is important to implement this into your life. Um, Forgiveness is so important because you learn not to internalize things. You learn that a lot of times what happens to you when it comes to people is really out of your control, and you just learn how to take people for who they are and to love people where they at and to move on, to not allow people's actions and reactions to dictate how you feel about yourself and how you view the world around and forgiveness, in my opinion, is the first step to healing. In order to heal, you have to identify the areas that you are still carrying. You have to identify the baggage that you're still carrying with you, and you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision because it starts here. You have to make a decision to forgive and to move on. That does not mean forget, but it means to forgive and to move on. And understand that when you decide to forgive someone, you can no longer hold that against them. Okay, you cannot say you forgive somebody and then continue to bring it up and to act negatively towards them because of what happened in the past. Okay? It does not mean you have to forget. It does not mean forgiveness does not mean you still have to interact with that person or, you know, overly love on that person or give them more of yourself. No. Only if you decide that's what you want to do. But forgiveness is saying, you know what? I forgive you for what you have done. Um, I accept you for who you are, and I am going to release this so that I can move on. And understand that forgiveness, when it comes to healing, is not an immediate thing. A lot of times you're going to forgive someone and you're still going to feel those emotions. It's still going to hurt. It's still going to be on your mind. But forgiveness starts with a decision. It starts with you deciding to move on. And by making that decision, it is now up to you to act upon that decision, right? So after you forgive and decide to move on, you now have to not allow those thoughts to dictate how you act and react. When you still have those feelings, because they're going to be there, you have to make a decision to let it go. Feel those feelings and let it go. Feel those feelings and don't react to them. Don't allow them to dictate how you see people, how you see that person, and how you see the world. Okay? That's a big part of it. And it takes time. Understand that healing takes time. It is a process. It can take months, it can take years of healing, depending on how deep that scar is, how deep that trauma is, and also how much you commit to moving forward, because we carry trauma in many ways. We carry trauma mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. A lot of time we have trauma in our bodies and you don't even know it. Trauma can keep you stuck for a very, very long time. And it is important that in your journey, you recognize these areas where you're storing trauma and that you work to release. It is so important to release trauma because it can keep you stuck. It can skew your vision on how you see people, how you see relationships, how you see the world, and also your relationship with God. Okay, it can hold your relationship with God back, because a lot of times we may blame God for allowing certain things to happen that we don't agree with, and you cannot do that. It's not healthy to blame God, because God is an awesome God. He's a mighty God. He's a loving God. And everything he does is in your favor and everyone else's favor, whether it makes sense or not. Okay? So, very important that you take time to yourself. And a lot of times you have to take time to yourself. You have to isolate, take away social media, take away the distractions, and sit with yourself and truly think and feel and get to the bottom of it and see where your trauma is stemming from, all the way back to childhood, because that's a lot of times where our trauma come from. Think about childhood, preteen, high school, after high school. Like, think and just try to understand yourself and try to see where you are stuck emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and do the work. Understand forgiveness is for you. It's not always for the other person, whether you think they deserve it or not. Forgive for you, because you deserve to move on. Thank you for watching this video, and again, I love y'all, appreciate the support, and I hope you have a great day and start your healing journey.